My arm's going to hurt. What to do with this?
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to invest in any like sort of big booms to put mics in, but anyway, it's gonna be a very strange cold open.
Like a clip fat cigar.
Yeah, just sit there sort of like Roger Moore in the sort of 70s Bond flicks. Anyway, I'll try and find a way of introducing this. Hello and welcome to the Classic Car Weekly podcast and a special edition of the podcast as we're on the road and we're at a secret location somewhere in rural England, as they would have said during the wartime. We're actually at the Practical Classics workshop ahead of the Practical Classics Classic Car and Restoration show. I'm joined by editor Danny and workshop editor, I think is the correct title, Matt Tompkins. Gents, how are we?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah.
Always good to be down in the workshop.
Always nice to be out and doing.
Absolutely.
We don't actually do any work. We get somebody else in to write the magazine. We spend all our time down here just messing about with cars.
That's probably the best way to do it. I mean, it's an absolutely lovely day as well. Spring has sort of reached us. March has arrived and it's gone, right, springtime now. And it's glorious weather. We've got the workshop door open, it's sunny.
When it's like this, you create the false impression that this is a kind of little haven of warmth and joy. But because we're north facing, at any other time of year, even when it's like below 10 degrees, you literally walk in and immediately freeze. Ooh. So it's not the best for heat, is it?
There are times of the year when 3 cars deep outside don't defrost.
No.
It's just all stuck in the shade all through the day.
It is. It's like the steps.
Yeah. It just sort of nothing changes. But no, it's a lovely day. We're up here, and obviously we're building up to the Resto show, which is coming up in 3 weeks' time. And I think it'd be a great chance to speak to you guys about what makes it such a special show. What are you looking forward to? Some personal highlights from years gone by as well. So we'll kick off with the obvious question: why should people be attending this year's restoration show?
There are loads of reasons to go. For me, if I was a punter, put it this way. Oh, by the way, the RAF like to come and play.
Yes, yeah.
They're all subscribers, and what they do is they like to fly over and see what we're working on.
It's sort of like a sneak preview. They see what's in the yard. I probably know the guy that's actually working in the control tower for this as well.
Could you give him a ring?
I could go, if my phone's annoyingly recording at the moment, I could give my mate a message and say, could you stop sending them this way, please? Yeah. It's very annoying.
Yeah.
But regularly we'll have stuff fly over and I'll send him a screenshot of like flight radar and go, was this you? And he'll go, no comment.
I don't mind. Yes. I think it makes it sound dangerous and edgy.
Yeah, we're on the edge of Top Gun.
It's normally about 3 seconds after you hit record, isn't it? And say send something really low, really loud over.
Yeah. We use this for recording our videos. We've done videos with Amazon and people like that, and it's like we're next door to a lawnmower repair service, and like every time we did it, when we were fixing up, it felt like Monday. Every time we were doing a take, somebody would walk outside next door and sort of crank open some kind of like 2-stroke machine,
a little 2.5 horsepower hater or something.
Yeah,
it sort of gets strung out
every time. Brilliant.
But no, where are we? That was it. Why should people be attending the Resto show?
Oh God, well, it's the friendly show, right? That's the kind of thing, and that's not a tag that we've kind of imposed on it. It's something that's grown out of the fact that it has been not just a season opener, but the kind of show you can go to and you know you're going to have a great chat with people who know what they're talking about, and everybody has got time for everyone. It's not high intensity, but it's full of activity. And it's full of people who love what they do and really, really want to share it. So that's why it's become known as the friendly show, isn't it?
Absolutely. All the clubs get involved. Everybody's doing anything from machine polishing cars through to complete engine swaps, rebuilds. The best bit of the show for me is on a Sunday afternoon when you're walking around and it's just starting to quieten down and you're looking around and there's a hive of activity in one corner and you realise that someone's driven the car to the show and things haven't quite gone to plan and they're desperately trying to get the car ready to drive it out the halls on Sunday night. You've been there.
I've been there having to bleed out the brake system on the MG, having accidentally cracked open a caliper and gone, oh, and then running around the halls trying to buy a brake bleeder kit and some brake fluid.
I think we sorted out the brake fluid, didn't we?
No, I've borrowed God knows how many different tools and bits off you at different Resto shows. The first year I borrowed tools off you was because I blew a load of fuses and lost the windscreen wiper switch on the MG on the way there, and then had to install a new fan belt set of fuses and needed something to pry it out and tighten up the alternator with. That was the first time. And then it was when I did... thought about trying to do thrust bearings. I ended up doing a full brake swap on the front end. I think I just ended up sort of borrowing a succession of tools from you guys and then asking if you had brake fluid. I was
here's
the
point.
Looking ever more haggard.
Not only did you get the service you required, which is good, but you had it with a smile.
Yeah.
and probably a laugh, although people were laughing at you probably as well as with you.
Well,
But the other thing about the Resto show and what you've just been talking about is absolutely on point, is the fact that if there's a problem, somebody will help you out. But it is not a microcosm, it's the opposite of the microcosm, a macrocosm of what happens in all of our old car lives if we happen to be people who like a bit of a fettle.
Yeah, because I was sort of bobbing either over to the Practical Classics, sort of your live demonstration bits where you were restoring. What was it you were doing that year? Was it the Mini? I think you were putting
Could
together.
well have been the Mini. I think that maybe it's why we
Which
didn't have
Mini?
brake fluid.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I think that would be the Mini Estate.
Estate.
Mini estate,
Yeah.
because we did the Mr. Bean Mini as well.
And we were also next to Oxford University Motorsports Foundation that year as well, and they were great at lending me tools constantly.
Yeah.
And they're very nice, and I've since sort of stayed in touch with a lot of them. They're really nice guys, really interesting cars and projects. But they were, again, it was this nice community that emerges around a problem arising, and that's I think what makes the show special.
And the people that come to the show are the people in the clubs who do stuff. You know, they're the hands-on people, and you tend to find that as much as anything else, because they want to show you how good they are. You know, they will help. There's a lot of people who will be like almost too enthusiastic to help you. It's great.
It's fantastic, and like you say, everybody's happy to help everybody, and be that lending tools or advice. If you're going there with no mechanical knowledge at all, and you're just starting out, there is no better place to get an idea of complete attainability. These people are just like you and me. Nobody really is going in there as an expert. Nobody started as an expert, for sure. So the fact that these jobs are achievable by, for the most part, amateurs on cars that haven't been built, some of them for over 100 years, and this can happen with no outside intervention in the National Exhibition Centre in March is just simply wonderful.
With limited tools as well, because obviously not a lot of stands have got the chance to use power. There's no welding, very little grinding goes on. It's all sort of hand tools and just ingenuity to get things done.
It is. I mean, there has been welding, but it's usually followed by a lot of security guards piling in, and the club's going, "We've got screens."
I can't remember who it was.
Was
it
Jowett?
Jowett? It was the Jowett Club. Yeah, they had their screens and they had their 16 amp power supply, and everybody that broke a bolt, everybody that broke something throughout the show was going across to the Jowett Club. I don't know how they got anything of their own done. There was just a line of people saying, "Could you weld this for me?"
They became the show's workshop. So point one is it's the friendly show. So if you ever feel intimidated by a big show like Classic Motor Show, which is enormous, or some of the more concourse events, you come to the Practical Classics Classic Car and Restoration Show and you'll feel welcome, and that's just a guarantee. Yeah. The other part of this is, and this is really important, is that sometimes when you go to the NEC, particularly Classic Motor Show, I mentioned that again, it's the big one, but sometimes it's a bit too big and you can't get around it, even in a weekend.
Yeah.
So actually the Practical Classics Classic Car and Restoration Show is a show you can get round in a day if you want to do it quick. You can get around it in depth in a weekend and really, really get your money's worth. So in that sense, it's manageable in terms of a bit of visitor experience.
And it's educational as well. I think it's a show. I like going to an event where you feel that you've come away with something, and you always come away having learned something, picked up a new tip, found something else out about a car that you own, and you sort of go, "Oh, I never thought about how to fix it this way," or you sort of feel better about your own ownership experience, courtesy of the show.
Yeah.
I think that's such an incredible thing to have.
It's a niche audience as well. Let's not kid ourselves. If you're into shiny, if you're just an aesthete, it's maybe not for you. But if you like getting your hands dirty, well, we're sitting both of us here with dirty hands.
Yeah, I'm not dressed for this appropriately at all. Light trousers and a
Jesse's
light
turned
shirt.
up to a wedding. I don't know where that's happening. But if you like getting grease under your fingernails and you're a bit of a fettler and you want to learn how to be more of a fettler, then the PC show is the one to come to.
And the best thing is, it's not just people demonstrating, it's a two-way conversation. Go and ask advice. If you've got a burning question, come across to see us in Hall 5. We'll be there. We're working on Danny Sphere and Morris Minor, but we'll also be there to answer the questions that we answer in Ask Your Experts, the letters pages, throughout the year. But we're going to be there live, and we'll be very, very happy to have a conversation, as will any of the clubs.
And no question is too foolish as well. Everything is valid, and one of the things that we pride ourselves on at the magazine, and the show is a reflection of the magazine, is that on our front door is the word welcome, and everyone is welcome. Whatever your skill level, whatever your background, you're welcome. And come and ask us whatever question you want to ask.
It's what makes it so sort of valuable and enjoyable on all levels as a show.
Yeah.
When it comes to that level of enjoyment, you guys have been sort of heading along to the show, hosting it, a major role in it for several years now. What's been your sort of personal highlights from sort of taking part in the restoration show, sort of personal sort of top watermarks?
I think it's 12 years now, isn't it, man? 12
I think
years.
it is.
Yeah. When we first set the show up, we joined up with Clarion, the RAF again, Top Gun. Hi, Tom. So when we got into the idea of having this show in the first place, the one thing that we absolutely insisted on is that we had features within the show that would reflect what the magazine does. And the greatest thing about the show actually is in that sense, throughout its history, throughout its story, it has never failed to deliver what we originally set out for it to deliver, and that is for it to be the magazine made real in 3D. And it's still doing it. It still has the biggest barn find display under one roof. It still has an enhanced Practical Classics world, a corner where everything happens, where you can see the Restorer of the Year, where you can see our cars in a parade, where you can see us working on stuff. You can see this place transported to the NEC. So all of that stuff is still there, and it's not been watered down. And that's, I think, for me, that's the greatest accolade. We've had some really emotional moments. We've had some incredible finds, and we've had some really moving moments. You know, we've got friends and absent friends who we've got to know through the PC show. It's become like a club in itself, in a way, isn't it?
It has, absolutely. And we've said it before, but the moment that we brought your Riley RMA out on stage on a Sunday, and all of us had grafted for weeks in preparation, and then over the 3 days, the engine had been put together live, the car had been built up from nothing to a beautiful, beautiful car, and then it didn't start. No. And it was that moment of, that's it, guys, the curtain's closed, the sound guy's going home, and that's it. And it showed, and as somebody came up to you afterwards and said,
that's the best one.
That's the best one. It proves it's real. And we are, as a magazine, I like to think, completely authentic. We celebrate our own failures as much as the successes of you, the readers.
There's that phrase, isn't there, in Tellyland, false jeopardy. There's no false jeopardy with us. There's just jeopardy.
Yeah. You think we've got the time to engineer in jeopardy?
No, we haven't. And that's the funny thing. I mean, that day, when that engine wasn't starting, we found out afterwards that the timing marks were incorrectly placed on the pulleys at the end. But when it wasn't starting, we had Ed China, we had a bunch of guys from other TV shows all piling in, having a go. Nothing worked. And this guy, and I was sat on the edge of the stage, I was mortified. Well, we were really embarrassed and were upset by it because, mostly we managed to get things done. And this guy came up with, Daddy, that's the best one yet, mate. I've seen them all. That was about 5 shows in, 6 shows in, was it? Seen them all. It's the best one yet because it proves it's real.
Yeah, there's none of that sort of made for TV-ness to it. That sort of fake jeopardy.
There's no nonsense. And actually, do you know what? If you want another reason to come to the show, is that pretty much everything there is authentic. It's as real as it gets because you can't fake this stuff.
Yeah, and that's what makes it really enjoyable. It's there in front of you. It's happening. It's regular people doing regular things with their cars, which makes it quite inspiring. And that fact of, I could actually do that. If someone's able to do it in a show hall with hundreds of people walking past every hour, watching them do it in the comfort of my own workshop with enough time and the chance to focus, you feel that you could tackle it as well. But you have a soft spot for those Riley RMs as well, and also know the pain of thinking, I've built an engine, going to start it up, and it going, nope, you haven't got me timed quite right. And you go, how did you come again?
There's no way we would have had to have taken everything apart to look at where the lobes were actually impacting. The timing marks were wrong on the pulleys. What can you do?
Yeah,
it was tough, but it also proved it was real. I think talking about actually authenticity and seeing people, it's also an opportunity to go and join clubs and see those club members and make those interactions in person that you might otherwise only have in a magazine or on an online forum. Actually, whether you're already a member and you're going to meet people that you already know in the virtual world, it's a real life, 3-dimensional meeting point for people who are absolutely like-minded, and everybody there is there and out to help.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, the in-person bit's important. I've got essentially my team mechanic, my friend Richard, who sort of helped me with a lot of the building work on the MG, met at the Resto show. He started helping me with the car then. He's a whiz when it comes to sort of producing classic cars, working with classic car racing team. So that's the Lawnmowers next door, I think. So when it comes to sort of getting stuck with things, I've got that sort of hope from the club. I've got the sort of friendly faces that I know I can turn to and rely on. Very old model there, and it's
a classic.
a classic lawnmower weekly. Is that a thing? Could that be a thing?
Oh yeah. There's got to be a Facebook group.
There's got to be somewhere. Suffolk punches and all sorts. But no,
It's good to hay.
Yeah, great. But no, it's one of those things where getting to see the people in person, getting to know them, just helps sort of make those connections a lot more easily than through a forum, through a Facebook group, and sort of get to know people.
And it becomes restoration becomes tangible. It becomes something tangible. Not something that's out there in the world.
By the way, on the topic of authenticity, this is a working space.
Yeah,
and there's an awful lot of activity going on in the yard outside, so it's not just us.
No, there's a photo shoot happening further down. There's an MOT testing station before we started recording. Someone's having their horn checked as well through that. So there's going to be a lot of background noise beyond just the birdsong and the RAF, which is very sort of, it brings a bit more noise to it than just the hum of the air conditioning immediately.
I've got to say, we've been in this workshop for 24 years now. I remember moving in here in 2002. And so this workshop's featured in every single issue of the magazine since then. And we have readers come along regularly, and when they walk in, it's like they've walked into church. They sort of pinch me, I can't believe I'm here, and it's literally the world's shoddiest unit. It's a leaky, freezing cold, horrible tin box, but it's home, isn't it?
It's wonderful what a wide-angle lens can do.
It's amazing, isn't it? Camera never lies. I think it does.
Yeah, we can make it light, trust me. Yeah, I don't know how it'll come out on the video, but yeah, there's a lot going on in here, and importantly, we do have, Matt, this is one of your Morris Minors behind us?
This is, absolutely. So we've got most of Danny's Fiat 124 on the floor, if the camera's picking it up, and then behind us, this is my current project, which has been in the magazine for the last 6 issues or so now. So within the magazine, we feature our own cars in the Staff Car Saga section. It's a really popular part of the magazine, and it's what we like to think of as our sort of diary features and what we do every month. And we are real enthusiasts, and we are really doing our own restoration work. This is a car I bought on my best friend's stag do.
And alcohol being consumed, Matthew.
Oh, definitely not. And it's what we believe to be the oldest surviving Metropolitan Police Morris Minor, which suddenly takes it from being a two-door Morris Minor, which I love, and I have my first car was a two-door Morris Minor. I still own it, and I've restored it. This makes it even more special. The car hasn't been restored since it left the Met. The roof was blown over after it left the police, just to make it match, but you can see, having cut the windscreen out, where the original masking lines would be. One of the things that we're going to be doing at the show, the car's coming along on the rotisserie as a work in progress. We're going to be sanding back the roof just to see exactly where those masking lines are, so we can document them. So when it comes time to respray the car, inside, outside, underneath, that we'll be able to replicate exactly as the car left the Special Orders department of the factory.
So we'll go back to its original police specification, essentially, because I know we've still got sort of police etched onto the door, just looking for sort of original trace lines.
Yeah, so that was actually, so the police etched on the door was done with a Sharpie, because we went back through period images, used scale rules, and managed to work out exactly the font and the dimensions of the original police decals before going and spending money on having them reproduced, which I have now done. Just wanted to double check those dimensions, so scrawled it on the side in Sharpie and just checked that all of those reference points that we'd taken from those period images all added up. So yeah, it's for me the most amazing restoration project I've ever been involved with, because it's the social history that surrounds it as well, and the fact that I'm able to do research. I had a phone call just after the car first debuted in the magazine from a gentleman who said, "I've got some information on your car." I thought, okay, it's a police car. Maybe he's going to give me some information on Met Police Minors. He said, "Oh no," he said, "this was the first car I ever drove on night duty." I never forget a number plate, and he drove this car on his first ever night duty. And the gentleman then went on to set up the Metropolitan Vehicles Historic Vehicle Fleet.
Okay, because I've been looking to get in touch with them because they've got an SD1 that I really want to get behind the wheel of as well, because obviously this year's an anniversary year for that.
Yeah,
and
it's got some amazing cars.
It's also 5 minutes from my girlfriend's house, so it's very conveniently located. So yeah, don't have to take too much time out of my social life to go and tackle that one. But no,
well, I do still have a Morris Minor on the fleet, which means there is still one serving, because it's owned and maintained by the Metropolitan Police, so it's still a serving police car technically. But yeah, so this will be going back to as close to original concourse condition as I can get it. And yeah, come along and see it at the show, because we'll be working on the car. I'm also going to be bringing the engine along. Going to try and progress that as well. So yeah, there to answer questions, but also there to progress the project.
Get some project work done. And Danny, we've got the bits of your Fiat in front of us at the moment.
Yeah. So I think that what Matt's just said is really important. It's actually one of the things that we love about the restorations that we do, are the stories we can tell around them, and the stories that we can tell around them are often people's stories. So every time we go into a restoration, there's a bit of stuff that comes out of the woodwork, because we're the biggest selling classic car magazine in Britain. We have a really wide remit, and we have a lot of huge reach, and that means that when we put things in the magazine, people come back to us. So for instance, my Jensen, which I discovered was owned by Sir Hugh Fraser, and left the factory with HOF1 as its number plate, House of Fraser 1. As soon as I put that in the magazine, I was contacted by his housekeeper's husband, who told me he'd driven that car. I was contacted by the widow of his former chauffeur, who told me stories about Sir Hugh Fraser that I can't repeat here. And by a guy who took his second drive in any car ever in that car. His parents were friends with Sir Hugh, and they're up at his castle in Mulgai. And Sir Hugh said, "Could you go into the Drummond and get me a packet of cigarettes, please?" And he went, "Oh, your Jensen's blocking my Hellman pin." He went, "Take the Jensen, and I don't expect to see you for an hour." And he said it was the most incredible drive of his life. So, stories like that, they come out of the woodwork, and they're part of the storytelling that we can do with the magazine. I think this workshop is it's like the beating heart of practical classics. No other publication has anything like this, which is unique, and it's our USP, if you like. So we base our restorations here, and my current one is the Fiat Spider. It's a dream car of mine. I've loved them. I love the design. I think they're beautiful. For me, they're the ultimate two-seat. Well, it's a two-seater with a kind of occasional seat in the back, but you can't really fit anything on it other than maybe a dog or small children.
Yeah.
And I think it's for me. I've always wanted one, and then I got offered one through the magazine, and I brought it back here, and we discovered that it was really beyond salvation. And then I found another one which had a better shell. And basically, I've combined two cars to bring one back. And again, one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted it back to an original colour. It's a 1975 car. We scratched the surface of the dark brown paint that was on it. Found it was originally orange. So the reason why the car isn't here at the moment is now that it's been welded, we have sent it away to our friend Steve. And Steve works for a company called HB Body, and they do body preparation and paints. And he has worked on it in his workshop using the paint that we found underneath the paint that was on top. He's colour matched that to a Fordson tractor orange. It's pretty much the same as the Fiat orange from 1975. So he's using that, and he has refinished the car and resprayed it. And I think he's probably put in around 300 hours worth of work into that. It is better than it left the factory.
Because you've shown us some pictures when I sort of got here. I was asking about the car, and it looks sublime. That's a really deep luster to it.
Every line as well. And the thing about the 124 Spider is the reason why it's such a beautiful car is the subtlety of line that it has. And those pinstripes and those lines go actually through from the wing into the tops of the doors, and then onto that rear, the way the rear quarters, the haunch upwards at the edges. That line comes right the way through from the headlight. And it had been basically lost from years of bodgery and whatever. And Steve has got it back, and I can't tell you what it's like. I could have attempted that, and I would have made a mess of it, to be honest. Because I think that kind of bodywork and that kind of paintwork, the people who can refinish in those ways, is something you're born with. Actually, I don't think it's something you can learn.
There's a level of art to sort of preserving
really
classic cars as much as there is sort of technical know-how and sort of the science and the engineering behind it. It's an art form at the end of the day. This idea of being able to preserve someone's creative intent that's been set into metal and bring that back. It's really unique.
And that's what's wonderful, again, going back to the show, is the fact that you're going to have people from all of these different skill sets coming together. There might be an engine building genius who's never laid hands on a paint gun, or somebody that's only ever sprayed cars. They're learning mechanicals, and that's that bringing together of people from all walks of life, as well as, of course, the traders and the products and the advice that's available there. Steve's obviously going to be on hand. He's going to be on the across with us in Hall 5 when we're working on the Fiat. The amount of advice you can receive from one 5-minute conversation can save you weeks of effort in the workshop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just. I think actually this is another thing about the show is there is no other show I've ever been to where the international language of car is spoken more fluently, but in a more diverse way. Because and when I say diversity, I mean ethnic or religious. I mean different people with different skill sets, like Matt said. Some people, Steve is a genius when it comes to bodywork. But when you're talking about, if you want to talk to somebody about rebuilding an A-series engine, the bloke sitting next to me is about as good as you can get. So everybody has their own thing, and everybody comes along and celebrates it at the PC show, and also demonstrates it. And I think that's the other thing. When you come and watch the Fiat being put back together again, or when you watch Matt's car being sanded down, it's like a group of ants sort of building an anthill, and getting along and putting in the teamwork. And I find that really moving. I think it's really important.
Yeah. And obviously we've mentioned the 2 cars that are going to be on display. What are the other bits and pieces that we can look forward to? If we're coming along to the show, what can people really expect to see? Other sort of big milestone things that you might already have an inkling about that's going to be there?
So over in our corner, we have got, I think this year, more telly stars than there have ever been before. UK TV are kind of taking over the All Shout stage. Ring, ding, 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 ding. Can I tell you a story about that? I tell you, I was actually paint spraying a panel, and that happened. And a large cloud of 2-stroke smoke came across, and I had to start it all again. That's a business next door, so they're great guys. So we love them to bits.
But all your lawnmower certainly is that just more popular.
So my favourite things about, particularly in our corner, the Practical Classics world is in the corner of Hall 5, and it's got everything that the magazine is in one place. And I think that the most important part of this, actually, you've got what's happening. Every issue of the magazine has got the best restorations you're ever going to see. They're always the same. They're always a one-man band restoration. It's not a professional job. It's a DIY job. Somebody who's been in their shed and doing amazing work. And so we celebrate them every year with a competition called Restorer of the Year. And the Restorer of the Year will win the Golden Spanner.
Is that an actual A-series crankshaft?
No, it's made of gold. It's real gold.
Real gold.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a late Reliant crankshaft, so it looks very similar to a 3-bearing Austin 7 crankshaft because they shared commonality. No components, but certainly design.
Obviously, that's cast in gold, and we took the original casting from the crankshaft.
Standard casting crankshaft.
The Golden Spanner.
Yeah.
But so we celebrate our great shed heroes every single year with the award of the Restorer of the Year, and you can see who has won the Restorer of the Year because we're going to be awarding it on the Saturday at the PC Resto show. So it's going to be, and the car will be there as well, so you'll be able to meet the owner. We're going to be giving away a car this year. We've got a Rover 75 for the Great British Car Journey that we're going to be giving away to a lucky reader. There's been a competition running for the last 6 months in the magazine. So that car will be there as well. We hope it's going to go to a first-time classic owner.
Yeah.
That was a remit, and we asked people to talk about who they would like to win and why and what they'll do with it if they do win it. So that's going to be given away. We're going to have the Practical Classics Parade, or the Staff Car Sagas Parade, where we're going to be bringing the cars that you read about all the time in the magazine to the NEC. This year in particular, we're going to be bringing the cars that we took on our winter adventure. Every year we take inappropriate cars to inappropriate places in the middle of winter, just because we can. So we ended up right halfway up Snowdon, didn't we, this year?
In the snow.
In the snow. We had
slithering up Snowdon in a Morris Minor.
Yes. Farting his way to heaven.
Fabulous.
How sideways can you get 47 horsepower?
Climb the top of Snowdon.
He was really good though, because it's got really narrow tyres, and there was plenty of kit in the back. So he was digging down into it. I was in an MX-5. I was all over the place, quite happily actually, I have to say. But it was great fun. So those cars are going to be there on the stand as well. We've got Steph from iDriver Classic in our corner, which is going to be great fun. She's a columnist in the magazine and we count her as part of our extended family. So that's going to be great to see Steph. And then there's the Your Shout stage where all the great and the good come and spill their brains for people who to come in. It's an entertainment arena, but it's also an information arena. We do some proper topics, and you've been on stage there as well.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times there for sort of young members, but young owners panels. It's always an interesting one to sort of hear someone else's thoughts on sort of what often you end up a bit isolated with your own thoughts, especially if you're the journalist. You sort of have your own preconceptions of sort of what's going on, but then you hear sort of more things coming in from the world, and it's really nice to experience that and hear other people's opinions as opposed to just sort of espousing your own every week.
And do you know what? It's another reason to come to the show, because it is a community. It shows you're part of a community. It's the opposite of sitting online on a social media platform where it's just you in your bedroom looking at a screen and answering. It's actually a group think, and it's a shared experience. Hammond's coming on show Saturday. Who else is going to be there? Obviously, Mike Brewer's going to be there.
We've got Derek Matthewson.
And so we've got he's going to be there. Dominic Chenair is going to be there on Saturday as well. So there's some proper big names coming along. And if you like these people, you see these people on the telly, then PC Resto Show is a great place to come, because not only do you get to see them do their stuff on stage, is they'll all be out for a selfie afterwards as well. So.
And also we've got National Car Club Awards. I know you were at the sort of the picking meeting for that earlier today.
The white smoke has exited the chimney.
The head gasket's gone.
That's it. Yeah, the Pope's head gasket has gone. I'm very humbled to be part of the judging committee for the National Car Club Awards, and we had the big meeting this morning, and we've done our bit, and we have a list of winners, and they will be announced at the show. So that's another reason to come along as well, because we love to celebrate the clubs. The clubs are at the heart of what the show is all about. And not only are we going to have the National Car Club Awards, we've also got the At-Show Awards. So whatever activity the clubs are doing at the show gets celebrated at that award ceremony too.
Best working clubs and bits, isn't it? There is always someone really pushing the boundary. I know that one of the best ones I've seen is the Jowett Car Club. We've mentioned them already with things like welding, but we've seen them with they've had like wood workshops there. They've been repaneling vans and all sorts. They're a club that is constantly pushing the boundaries.
Was it the Jowett Club last year who had the fuel tank being refurbished? No,
that was the Allard Club.
Yes, because they had like a sort of drum that they.
I met the guy who made it.
Spinning. Yeah, it was like a bicycle crank.
Two bicycle wheels clamped together with a little, I think it was a washing machine motor, turning them round with the fuel tank clamped between them, and a bunch of nuts and bolts inside the fuel tank. And whereas we would sit there and shake it until our arms hurt, this thing was going all day. And by the end of the day, the inside of that petrol tank was completely clean.
Ooh, nice. Sort of like one of the little sort of like pebble tumblers for like polishing jewellery and stuff.
And that's the other thing about the show. You turn up on a stand, you're always going to be surprised by what you see.
Yeah, I think I've seen someone with a full sewing machine making up seat covers for a Porsche 994 before as well, which is great because you think Resto Show is going to be people sort of tinkering with spanners, toolboxes, oily. And there was someone just sort of running fabric through a machine and going, actually, no, that's genius. And something I've never thought to sort of done as working display.
The Jowett Club had that as well. I think they had a sewing section, didn't they, one year?
And all of these are facets of restoration that you might not otherwise think. Things that, I'm not remotely faced by an engine rebuild, but I'm absolutely terrified at the thought of getting out a needle and a thread. Whereas there are people out there who would quite happily do an interior, but the thought of changing the oil would send them running frightened. So it's our community is such a wonderful, eclectic mix of people and of skills. And bringing them all together under one roof is just fabulous. Something that struck me last year at the show was just how many young people there were as well. And particularly around the live working displays, there were people working on, pulling engines out of cars, changing gearboxes, right down to small polishing jobs, which is no less difficult and no less important as part of the classic ownership experience.
Yeah, I think Young Retro Motor Club, I think, is one of the clubs that's previously been awarded while it's been there. And again, it's one that I'm sort of part of online. I see sort of what they're doing, and they're great for just bringing along young people with all manner of old things, popping it together on sort of a giant display, and you sort of go, okay, this is actually a really good sign of things to come. If we've got young people that are interested in, I think one guy did come down in an old Fulton tractor at one point for the show. It took him sort of a day to drive it there and a day to drive it back afterwards. But it was this sort of brilliant selection of cars from across the eras, and you sort of go, okay, I think the classic world is in good hands for the next generation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a positive show. That's the other thing, isn't it? It's a show that you go away from thinking, yeah, when I'm too old to get out of a bath chair, this place will still be thriving. It's great.
So it's a nice positive point to end with, chatting away just as the final. just as another lawnmower strikes up.
I love that. Do you know what? I think that's just right.
Perfect time to end on while I can see the audio notes. Like, there's one going to have some editing to do. Danny, thank you very much for letting me into your watch. I was going to say for joining me. I joined you guys for the afternoon, but it's been a pleasure to come up here. And obviously, you can see we're going to have that live the restoration show in a couple of weeks' time. Do you have the dates off the top of your head?
19th to the 22nd of March.
All the details will be in the description as well. And of course, we'll have more big work. Plus, coverage will be there as well. We'll be reporting live from the show with coverage heading out the week afterwards. That'll go perfectly timed. Another Honda.
Can I just say congratulations as well, Jesse, for being the most inappropriately dressed person who's ever walked into the workshop.
I always try and set the bar high.
You're a fashion icon. That's what you are.
And the thing is, I walked past my overalls, my workshop jacket, and a pair of dirty jeans before leaving the house, and still looked at sort of a pair of light grey jeans and went, "Yeah, these will do."
You're rocking it, baby.
Yeah, I've got to be dressed respectably. I might have to go to some sort of formal meeting after this. Unlikely, but yeah.
We turned up to formal meetings dressed like this.
Yeah, they don't care. Well, they expect it from us, actually.
I have turned up to a variety of meetings, certainly when I was going through the engine build on the Midget, with sort of all manner of dirt just packed under my fingernails. And people have gone, "What have you been up to? I thought you write." And I was like, yeah, well, I write about interesting things, mostly the fact that my car's broken.
Do you know what? One of the things I have noticed of everybody I've ever worked with on Practical Classics, and Matt included, is when they open their MacBook, you look at the keyboard, filthy.
Oh, mine is always absolutely disastrous because it's usually been sort of taken with me to the workshop, and I just keep moving the mouse to show that I'm awake on Teams. But in reality, I'm not actually on Teams at that point.
Does your editor listen to this podcast?
He doesn't listen to it back, which is the great advantage.
Nothing
to
hear here.
It's in sort of a professional setting. Yeah, but as long as the pages come through, there never seems to be an issue.
No
so
questions asked.
hopefully David won't listen to this one back. If he does, I'm sorry, or I will have edited this out.
No, it's all lies. It's all lies.
It's just an entertaining story for the podcast. It's not true.
It's not true.
Probably. No. But anyway, thanks for letting me, guys. Thanks for letting me come along. It's been a great chance to have a sort of quick poke around the workshop and see where we're up to. And I'll see you guys, if not at headquarters in Peterborough, at the NEC in a few weeks' time.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you very much.